Hare Krishna. So the question is, should we listen to our mind? Should we listen to the spirit soul? Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarvasya chaham hridisannivishto matta smriti jnanam apohanam cha vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyo vedanta krit vedavit eva chaham. The conclusion of this verse in this context is that Krishna is always there with us in the heart region as Paramatma or the super soul. This is again confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Ishvara sarva bhutanam riddesha arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantrarudani maya. Krishna confirms completely that, oh Arjuna, don't worry, that I as spirit soul or super soul, the Paramatma, is seated next to the Jiva. Now Krishna speaks to us constantly, but because our consciousness is contaminated, we are not able to listen to him. There are 4 things you can listen to in your life. 1, you could listen to your senses. The 2nd, you could listen to your mind and intelligence. The 3rd, you could listen to your spirit soul. And the 4th, you could listen to Krishna. Now let's see how and whom to listen to. The senses. The senses just want gratification. The eyes will tell you, look there. The ears will tell you, hear this. The tongue will tell you, there's a nice restaurant there, go there. So in that way, the senses just want satisfaction or gratification, so to speak. The mind invariably is hand in hand with the senses. The senses go and the mind tells the spirit soul, well, let's go there. And then the jiva helplessly goes. So the mind, if not purified, is very much hand in hand in the senses. What do you mean by listening to the intelligence? And what's the difference between the mind and the intelligence? Mind, as we discussed, is like a jukebox which throws so many different options, emotions, feelings, etc. and thoughts. Intelligence, if it is properly situated, it's like a filter which says, this is a negative thought, I won't do this. This is a positive thought, let me do this. So if you actually listen to the intelligence, then we will take right decisions. But the problem is, we don't listen to our intelligence. Many times we know that something is wrong, but because our mind and senses are so strongly addicted to something, we overpower the intelligence and then we do it. Like for example, on a cigarette packet, there's a nice warning. So if you don't even have to listen to your intelligence, you can read through your senses. But still, because we are so habituated to going in the flow of listening to our senses and the mind, that we just ignore all the thoughts of intelligence and rush. Now listening to the soul. What does the soul actually need? The soul neither needs judgment of the intelligence, nor does it need gratification of the senses. The soul, because it's part and parcel of Krishna, only needs Krishna. Imagine a fish taken out of water. If the fish is offered different pay and perk, it's given a return ticket to Switzerland, for example. It doesn't need all that. All that the fish needs, well, I come from water, now I'm suffering, put me back into water. So the soul is like that fish hankering for Krishna. The water is Krishna and the soul is like the fish. We are at the moment taken out of the kingdom of God. So all that the soul is hankering for is happiness, the happiness of being with Krishna, the happiness of meeting Krishna, the happiness of being drowned in the ocean of ecstasy. Now listening to the Paramatma or the super soul, what has the Paramatma to tell us? The Paramatma is a constant guide who helps the soul on its pursuit. But alas, we ignore the presence of the spirit, this super soul, we ignore the words of the spirit soul, we ignore to our own wants of being with Krishna, and we end up listening to the mind and senses of our body. And it's very interesting. The soul is eternal. It's wrapped up by these temporary senses in this body. And then we run all our life satisfying the senses. And the senses never are satisfied. It's like adding more ghee to fire. It just goes like a forest fire. So the more you satisfy it, the more it seeks gratification. So if we could just channelize our strength and energies in refocusing on our eternal need, and we try to listen to the soul, then that will give us supreme bliss. How do we do that? The super soul acts in different ways. The super soul tells us as gut feeling. The super soul speaks to us externally as the spiritual master. The super soul speaks to us through the words of the scriptures. So if we actually align our lives listening to Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, then we are truly doing justice to the wants of the soul. So therefore, if the mind is controlled, it will align itself to the wants of the soul. But if it is not controlled, the mind goes in one direction, the soul goes in one direction, and the person who possesses is miserable. So let us learn to listen to the words of the bona fide spiritual master through the scriptures, so that we actually listen to the need of the soul and control the mind, so that the wants of the mind, the senses, are in line with the wants of the spirit soul. Hare Krishna.